A Karen has been spotted taking a ball from a child at a Phillies game.
We were out in the home run seats trying to snag a ball for his birthday week, and as she reached for my arm, she just yelled in my ear, "That's my ball!" like super loud. I jumped out of my skin.
We're living in a strange moment in time, an era where entitlement has become a spectacle, where people expose themselves in public without even realizing it. Maybe they forget, or maybe they don't care, but the truth is this: every arena, every stadium, every ballpark is filled with hundreds of phones, lenses pointed like spotlights, just waiting for that perfect viral moment. And when it happens, the internet doesn't just watch, it judges. We saw it at the US Open when a millionaire CEO snatched a hat meant for a kid. 1 second he thought he'd gotten away with it. The next he was roasted across the globe, turned into a villain in a story that should have been about joy. And now, like history repeating itself, it's happened again. This time, the stage was a Phillies versus Marlins game, Miami. 4th inning. Phillies outfielder Harrison Bader sends a ball flying into the left field stands. The scramble begins. As it always does when a ball rockets into the crowd, a dad gets there first. Quick, clean catch. And without hesitation, without even taking a moment to savor it, he turns and hands it to his son. Reports say it was the boy's birthday. That wasn't just a gift, it was destiny, a perfect father-son memory. But that's when it happened. Out of nowhere, a woman stormed over. She claimed it was hers, shouted that she had it first.
That was yours! No, you took it from me! You took it from me!
Instead of letting that boy hold on to what might have been the highlight of his entire birthday, she doubled down, demanding, insisting, taking the joy of a child and trying to rewrite it into her own story. And the dad? You could see it on his face. He didn't want the celebration to turn into a screaming match. He didn't want his son's memory ruined by an adult tantrum. So he surrendered the ball. And this is where the Karen behavior couldn't be ignored. Loud, entitled, blind to the fact that every single camera in that stadium was locked in on her. She didn't look like someone defending fairness. She looked like someone desperate to win a power struggle. But here's the real question: was that ball actually taken from her? Or did the dad simply choose peace, deciding that protecting his son from an ugly scene was worth more than holding on to a baseball? Because the second this clip hit the internet, the debate started. And most people saw it for what it was. A dad caught a loose ball, gave it to his son, and that should have been the end of the story. But a handful of defenders popped up, claiming she had some kind of right to it just because it bounced near her row. Let's be real, that's nonsense. Almost catching a ball isn't the same as catching it. You don't get credit for almost. And if you actually watch the footage frame by frame, from every angle, there's no evidence that she ever had it in her hands. No tug of war, no yanking, nothing. The dad scooped it clean, she swooped in after. But the wildest part, people still tried to justify her behavior, as if storming up to a dad on his kid's birthday and demanding a ball that had already been gifted was some kind of noble stand. No, that wasn't bold. That was entitlement, plain and simple. Baseball has its unwritten rules, and one of them is sacred. If there's a kid in the mix, you let the kid have it. That's how ballpark magic works. That's how memories are made. And this dad, he didn't just follow the rule, he went above it. No hesitation, no second thoughts. He handed it to his son like it was always meant to be. That's what a good sports parent does. So why did she feel so entitled? Maybe she thought proximity was enough. Maybe she brushed it and convinced herself it was hers. But here's the truth. Once you see a ball in a child's hands, doubling down with shouting and demands doesn't make you right. It makes you look worse. Because cameras don't capture your perspective, they capture your actions. And her actions screamed entitlement. Now pause for a second and put yourself there. Be honest, if a ball landed near you, but you watched a dad hand it to his kid, would you really try to take that moment away? Or would you clap, smile, and let the kid enjoy the win? This whole fiasco mirrors that US Open Snatcher incident I covered before. Different sport, same energy. Back then, it wasn't about who technically had the right, it was about the attitude. A wealthy man swiping a keepsake from a child. Cameras rolling. Backlash unavoidable. And here we are again. Different setting, same result. Entitlement caught in 4K. But this story didn't end in the stands. Because the Marlins themselves knew they couldn't let this be the defining memory of the night. That's where everything changed. A staff member came over, gift bag in hand. Another ball for the boy, but this wasn't just about a replacement. This was about the team saying, and then like a storybook twist, Harrison Bader himself, the man who hit the home run, came out after the game. He met the boy in person, and he handed him a signed bat. Imagine being a kid thinking you lost the moment of your birthday and walking away with something 10 times better. That's not just a souvenir. That's a memory etched forever. And here's the irony. While the boy walked away with a birthday miracle, the woman walked away with nothing but embarrassment, because the internet had already picked its villain. The clip spread like wildfire. She wasn't just a fan anymore, she was the villain of the night. And while her behavior in the stands was indefensible, the fallout online got messy. rumors started flying about who she was. A New Jersey school district had to release a statement denying any connection after people started misidentifying her. Another woman, who happened to share a similar name, had to get on Facebook just to clear her own name. That's the darker side of viral outrage. It doesn't always hit the right target. And to this day, her real identity hasn't been confirmed. No name, no official statement, nothing verified. The person remains as anonymous as the day the clip broke. But the behavior, that speaks for itself. Immature, embarrassing, and unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Because here's the truth, when you act entitled in a stadium packed with cameras, you don't just embarrass yourself in front of a few rows. You see, the moment you step into a stadium, into an arena, into any place filled with thousands of people and dozens of cameras, you're not just living the moment, you're exposing yourself to millions. Every reaction, every choice, every move is magnified. And no matter how you try to spin it afterward, entitlement always loses, every single time. Because this was never just about a baseball. No, that's too small. This was about something bigger, something we've been seeing over and over again in this age of constant recording. From the heated stands at the US Open to this unforgettable Phillies game, the pattern doesn't change. The faces might be different, but the story stays the same. Grown adults acting like the rules don't apply to them, then acting stunned when the crowd and the cameras prove otherwise. That's the real story here. That's the lesson. See, the father in this moment understood something that woman never did. He understood that sometimes the strongest thing you can do isn't to fight, it's to swallow your pride, to take a step back, to show your child that dignity matters more than victory, that character matters more than clinging to some meaningless trophy. Because in the end, his son walked away with something priceless. Sure, he got a signed bat, but that wasn't the gift. The gift was the story, the memory, the kind of birthday moment that lives forever, the kind of moment no one can steal, no one can rewrite. That's worth more than any foul ball, any game-used souvenir. And what did the woman walk away with? A baseball poisoned by entitlement, a ball that became a symbol of everything she lost the second she grabbed it: respect, dignity, the chance to just enjoy the game for what it was. Instead, she got roasted by the crowd, by the cameras, by millions online who will never forget her face. That's her legacy now. That's the irony people never see until it's too late. The tighter you cling to something that was never really yours, the more you lose the things that actually matter. Respect, grace, joy. You trade it all for an empty victory. And in today's world, where every moment is streamed, clipped, posted, replayed, those losses, they're permanent. So here's the truth. Entitlement doesn't just ruin the moment for the people around you. It ruins it for you. It twists joy into bitterness. It turns a simple game into a scar you can't erase. And once the internet sees it, once the clip goes viral, there's no undoing it. No excuses, no rewrites, no second takes. The only victory that truly lasts isn't built on status, ego, or fleeting wins. It's built on decency, humility, and grace. Because power fades, trends die, and moments pass, but the way you treat people becomes your legacy. In a world where everything is remembered, replayed, and magnified, entitlement always collapses while character endures. What you choose in that moment becomes the story told about you forever.